Hello and welcome to GeekAtPlay Studio Tutorials. When you work with Vue, you will notice that sometimes using predefined library of the object may be not enough for you. Maybe you want to use your custom or some other object that you created in a Poser or any other applications. In Vue, you have the ability to import your object inside your Vue applications. But before we start working, one thing I want to show you. You can go inside the file options, and inside your file options you can configure your poser import. So in this case you can specify what library you're using, and I just like to recommend select the latest ones. Also, location for your poser file. You don't need like a precisely executable, you just need point to the directory. In my case, I have it the Poser Pro 2010, and you can notice right here in Poser applications locate. Okay, also, if you do not set up at this point, when you start importing first time poser file, it will prompt you to set up your poser location. As well, just beware when you do set up, many times if library just reinitialized, your Vue application need to restart it to make those settings accessible. So if you work, for example, you stop your scenery and you want to import in the scenery the poser file, your application may restart it, so you want to save it at that point. So let's go ahead right now, file, import object, and right here I have it my object Nana from the poser. We'll click OK. The one menu pop up first. It's import options where I can center, resize object, or down simple the texture map. I want to enable the center object. In many cases, I find out my object may be going somewhere out of the screen and I have a hard time to find. The resize, it does helpful so you can apply two properly scales of your Vue scenery. The next things when we click OK, the model is loaded. If all files, texture files, or maybe PDM or some other files do not find, you will have an additional menu pop up where to ask you navigate to locations for those specific files. In this case, all files was found. So next we have the options where we can group as a single mesh. If you want different properties for your posers, you can ungroup it. Also, you can have additional options for the poser, and one most important, it is when you allow to reposing inside the Vue, so it will preserve bone structures for your model so you can readjust inside. However, all these options will take additional memory inside of reserve for your application, so it will be acting a little bit slower. Now, other one important, it's animated options. Many times if you just import single figure for the still images, you want to switch to the import single frame. Currently it's what I'm going to do. But if you do animations, you need to import entire animations. Let's click OK. You notice at this point I have the warning that it says reposing is inside the Vue may take too much, so would you like to disable? Currently, for the example of this tutorial, I want keep reposing enabled, so I will click no. Okay, right here I have a model loaded and it's a little bit large scale, so let me resizing. You will notice sometimes it start acting a little bit slow because the reposing is enabled. Okay, let's take my camera above, and right here I have it none. The one thing with reposing, you will notice I have it all these options for the body or the custom. As well, I can go inside edit object, in which I can go inside the reposing and now start modifying all options for my model. So I can work on the pose, on scale, and other things like in a poser only inside my Vue. One thing to use these options, use if you think it's necessary, but again that is take a quite bit memory and will slow down some performance of your Vue application. The one thing I recommend also when you're done with posing and you know this is a way it will go, you can go right click and you can go back to the polygons. Okay, back to the polygons will kind of lock and freeze your model so you cannot change anymore, but you will notice it will make a much faster view working right now, so it doesn't need to go to any additional libraries to do all this stuff. It will have it like a solid object. Even poser models, after when you're done, you can save it as VOB objects and reuse again. But how I said before, if you save as VOB, you cannot repose or do any other changes except you can modify some materials. To save or export the object you just created, you can right click and go to Save Object. So as a saved object, we have the options to save as VOB at this point. Let's take, okay, we'll click Nano. We can put descriptions. The couple things, notice this is file name. It will show you in your file structure. We have a title. Title is will show in your object browser. And description, just additional notes as a to know. So let's go ahead. We save this. It's take a few seconds till it's rendered. So I want to reposition maybe inside window so I can preview better. I can change backgrounds, make checkers or other ones. And when it's done, I'll just save the object. Okay, now if I want loaded this object, I can go ahead, browse to my directory and load it as a native VOB object for this. So let's right now remove it and let's load it other. So for example, I'm going inside and it says I want import object. At this point, I want to take it my Baba Yaga hunt as OBJ. Again, you'll notice first options, it will be similar what we had before, but because it's a OBJ, it's not poser, so it doesn't have it all these additional properties for me. And right here, let me put it down. Just readjusting. Okay, this is plain test object, which have a lot of models, just polygons and other stuff. And you notice this is currently object is not textured at all. So we're going preview. Okay, let me go set render. Here's our very simple preview model of Baba Yaga hunt. Again, and it's imported as OBJ. I can go inside and I can modify, apply any type of the textures I wanted. When I'm done, also you notice when I import, it's imported a lot of all these different groups from the time when I was modeling. So I can go inside and actually group a bunch of them and bake them together if I need it. So I can readjust and I can work. And when I'm done, okay, let me go ahead and bake. I can just create one single file for the view when I'm done with everything, and I can go ahead and save it. Let's look right now on export and special accessing to the polygons. So I can go edit my object. We have the ability right now to edit my polygon mesh options for the view. So on mesh options, this is a little bit more advanced on the exporting, and we'll have a very tutorial on the advanced texturing and exporting and modeling with a view where we can go over our models. But let's overview very fast in this tutorials. So we have our mesh options where we have a double-sided, or we can allow it to smooth our mesh. Also, we have our mesh informations where we can decimate, increase, decrease amount of the polygons. The couple things what is very important, and it was added in View 9, it is ability of the work with the quads. So now, before we have a triangles, now in View 9 will support quantum Clark quads, so it will provide better capability with the like Maya or Max or other applications. Okay, also we can smooth, and right in these options it's where we can specify the quality boost. The quality boost will allow us provide better polygons. So but all this increasing will increase in time when it's preparing, also in a size. The map accuracy, when we start working inside the view and create very view specific maps, this way we can allow to create better maps. But again, you can notice right here we're increasing size of the memory it's using to create those maps. Okay, as well, we can go ahead and pre-bake our material right now. Let me go ahead and increase quality. Okay, I don't want forest double, I want quads. We can increase interpolations, but again, all the specific options we'll look after, and we can go ahead and bake. It's take a little time right now till it's baking because I did increase quality on the polygons and on a texturing, even we're using simple texture. So I'll go ahead and pause tutorial and come back when it's finished baking. Okay, when you're done baking illumination inside your model, you will preserve also type of the lighting. At that point, you can go ahead and save your model so you can share with other people or reuse in your own. And as example, here this Baba Yaga hunt with some terrains and other things, that same things I imported, applied specific materials, bake it and export it as a standalone model. One thing we also will look in our future tutorials, and I want to do a special series on how to create a Vue-friendly type of the models and how we can import it, work inside the Vue and pre-create. As example, here is again there's Baba Yaga hunt in a process of working, and what I was meaning by Vue friendly, you can see how you can go ahead and apply very easy different type materials to specific models, so we can create those models with easy access and manipulating inside the Vue. Okay, again, when you're done, you can go ahead and save object if you want just VIB as usual. Okay, thank you for watching this tutorial from GeekAtPlay Studio, and please remember visit us on the web is www.geekatplay.com.